And we welcome you to Logan, Utah for a delight of a non-conference matchup. The Memphis Tigers taking on the Utah State Aggies on this Valentine's Day. Hard not to be romantic about college basketball, and you get two of the top mid-major programs taking center court. Jordan Kent alongside Mike O'Donnell. Jordan Giorgio will also be joining us. Drake Allen trying to get the loose ball up ahead, dives on it. MJ Collins, he'll fire the three. No good. Coming in for the rebound is Adlon El-Amin. He is stepped out of bounds, and that'll be Memphis ball.
Is that not a Utah State possession, though? Dive on the floor for a loose ball, hunt for a three in transition, and crash the offensive glass. It's one of the reasons why Utah State is top 25 in the net this season. This is a really, really good ball club, Jordan.
And looking at this matchup on paper, Memphis has a top 50 defense in the country. Utah State, one of the most efficient offenses in the nation as well, too, and the soft floater is good for Curtis Givens.
One of the most important things for Memphis in this game is to play hard without fouling. It sounds obvious, but a big Achilles heel for Memphis defensively is they have a tendency to over-foul. Good steal there. That's what they love to do.
Doug McDaniel with the quick hands tries to dump it off, nearly turns it over, and the Tigers will reset. They're looking for a shot very quickly in the shot clock each possession.
They're trying to score in the first 7 seconds of the shot clock.
McDaniel, the transfer from Kansas State, long fadeaway two. Ball knocked loose. It is scooped up by the Aggies. Utah State 21-3 on the season, 12-2. They sit atop the Mountain West Conference, number 23 in the net. They've been to the NCAA tournament for 3 straight seasons. Collins, the leading scorer in the Mountain West, dumps it off to Allen up top. Collins, extra pass inside, broken up. Memphis. Active hands from the Tigers already as they're trying to create chaos as well. And we take a look at Memphis head coach Penny Hardaway in his 8th season as a point guard for the Tigers. Obviously played on some of those great Orlando Magic teams in the NBA. They're missing 3 players this evening. Zach Davis and Hassan Abdul-Hakim have been suspended indefinitely for violation of team rules, while Quante Berry is still in the concussion protocol. This is a Memphis team that has fielded 15 different starting lineups this season. Falslev knocked to the floor, and they're going to rule it Memphis ball. So the officials letting some physical play go in the early going.
I love this sideline out of bounds. The backdoor cut from Falslev designed. That's pretty good wall-up defense there, Jordan. Nicely done.
Silla already had 1 foul. That would have been his 2nd foul if they whistled it. So Memphis getting away with some great defense there. Aaron Bradshaw on the low block. He has been one of the best scorers over the last 9 games. The fadeaway from Julius Tedford, no good. And El-Amin will push it ahead, dumps it off.
That was great defense by Curtis Givens III on MJ Collins going backdoor.
Drake Allen trying to knife through the defense, can't find the angle, and you see why Memphis has a top 50 defense. El-Amin, the steal on the open floor, saves it behind. Allen can't handle it. Ball bounces out of bounds. Memphis ball. So checking in the early going for Memphis, Sincere Parker, coming off a 20-point performance against North Texas in that loss, had a career-high 40 points earlier this month. And that was off the bench, mind you.
I think Sincere Parker is going to be a lock for 6th man of the year in the American Conference. He is a dynamic microwave coming off the bench.
Here's Parker wasting no time and hits the corner 3. And Memphis sprinting out to a 5-1 lead.
He shoots 37% from 3. And once he sees one shot go down, he can give you 30.
Memphis came into this game shooting 32% from 3. A foul on the ball. It's against Parker as Falslev is trying to rip it through. Jared Calhoun in his 2nd season at Utah State, 8-1 versus quad 3 opponents this year. He mentioned how much he wants to turn the Tigers over and that they want to dominate the offensive glass.
The goal for Utah State is forcing 17 turnovers in this game. As they're going to do that, try to do that in their full court press and in the half court as well.
The question will be, how much will the length for Memphis bother Utah State? They field essentially 2 7-footers. You won't find that height in the Mountain West Conference. Allen fouled on the 3-point shot attempt. 3 free throws coming up. And to your point, the Tigers need to be very careful about fouling in this game.
When Memphis isn't fouling, Their length is bothering Utah State, both in the full court and the half court. But this is a major Achilles heel for the Memphis Tigers. They're coming off a loss for North Texas. Plenty of opportunities to win that game, but North Texas went 31 for 41 from the free throw line. That is a huge disparity in the free throw attempts.
Drake Allen at the line, the graduate student. He's had quite the journey throughout the state of Utah, the various colleges he's gone to. We talked to him at shoot around, expecting his first son any week now. And he said it's hard not to think about it while I'm on the court, but he is so excited for the opportunity. And we enjoyed giving him some completely unsolicited dad advice.
You always give unsolicited dad advice, whether or not someone asks for it or not. But what a great young man. And he is, by the way, he said, I can't stop thinking about it. It's all I think about. I would be too.
Falslev chopping at the basketball. That's off the thigh of Givens, and that'll give it back to the Aggies.
This is what they do in their full court press. They're 22nd in the nation in steals. They get about 9 steals per game, and sometimes they'll trap, sometimes they won't. But Falslev is one of the best off-ball defenders you will find in college basketball.
Falslev from nearby Benson, Utah. It's about 10 minutes away from this arena. They call him the mayor of Logan. Checking in, Carson Templin operates on the mid-post. 5 to shoot. Aggies still looking for a field goal in this game. Can't get it. Falslev, offensive rebound. Tries to flip it right back in.
He's everywhere all the time.
Here comes the press from the Aggies. Memphis able to break it. That'll be fascinating. Both these teams rely heavily on their full court press. Parker, a foul off the dribble. That's going to be whistled against Drake Allen. That'll be his first, and Parker wasting no time trying to go ISO.
Something that Sincere Parker does really well is when he gets hot, that's one thing. But he has a good knack for drawing fouls. He draws at least 5 fouls per 40 minutes, according to KenPom, and it's something that he excels at in the half court.
And Mike, basketball sickos like yourself will study the analytics and tell you mid-range contested one-on-one jumper, maybe not the most efficient shot, but why is the ISO going to be so important for Memphis in this game?
You know, it's really interesting you bring that up is when you and I called Utah State and their game versus Wyoming 2 games ago. And Wyoming's game plan was, we want to play one-on-one because Utah State gives up the most points per possession in one-on-one ISO defense. They're great when you swing it. They're great when you cut. They're great guarding the ball screen. But in one-on-one ISO, it's the worst part of their defense, which is an otherwise very, very good half-court zone matchup defense.
Utah State 1 for 7 to start this game. Keep in mind, they're on pace to be the first team in the Mountain West to score over 80 points a game while shooting 50%. Templin, a flurry of fakes, and puts it in.
The shot fakes are what got Templin that bucket. High IQ play.
Givens, baseline fadeaway, tough shot, ball batted free into the hands of Templin. Already multiple lead changes in this game. First ever matchup between these two teams. Templin inside, brings in 3 defenders, poked away. Credit Bradshaw with the steal there.
Yeah, good job by Bradshaw of not swiping for it too low and keeping his hands up.
It's the second steal of the game for the Tigers. Doug McDaniel gets them into the set. Here's Parker, 5 points already. Parker looking for the deep 3. Allen got a hand on it. Down low, Bradshaw trying to rip it away. That'll be a jump ball. Memphis Tigers basketball. We'll take our first stoppage, but Carson Templin, sure-handed, patient, and steady. Down low, gets the bucket. Utah State leads by 1. You're watching college basketball on CBS Sports Network, presented by Fresh Pet. Underway here in Logan, Utah, between Memphis and Utah State. The Aggies with the 1-point lead. Well, happy Valentine's Day. Jordan Cann alongside Mike O'Donnell. Jordan Giorgio will join us here in just a moment. Mike, what is there not to love about college basketball? You get a matchup with 2 of the best mid-major programs over the last couple of years here in mid-February.
How can you not be romantic about college basketball? Two-story programs. This is going to be a great game. I'm glad we're getting this for college basketball. Utah State having an awesome season, projected as a 7 seed if the season ended today in the NCAA tournament, according to CBS Sports Bracketology.
Let's get to our keys to the game, presented by Fresh Bets.
Memphis has to take care of the ball. Turnovers are an issue, and they have to be perfect on their box out. Utah State is going to crash the offensive glass. And for Utah State, they have to handle the Memphis full-court press. You know it's coming at some point in the game, and attack the paint and see if you can get to the free throw line early.
We mentioned it, first ever matchup between Memphis and Utah State. And when we were talking to Utah State head coach Jared Calhoun, we asked, who do the Memphis Tigers remind you of in the Mountain West Conference? He said, UNLV. Now keep in mind, UNLV beat Utah State on this very same floor about a month ago. 7 to shoot. Bradshaw the catch. McDaniel fires the 3. That's going to miss everything. Rebound ripped down by Colby King, who checks in.
Utah State switched all 5 on the defensive end on that baseline out of bounds.
Allen trailing, firing, no good. Loose ball scooped up by Collins.
Another offensive rebound for the Aggies. Point of emphasis for them at shoot-around this afternoon.
It's their 4th offensive rebound of the half already. 8 to shoot. Allen draws 2. Kicks it to the corner. Templin. He'll let it go. No good. And another offensive rebound. Gary Clark pulling it in. Allen wide open for 3. No good. And that's going to be a foul on Gary Clark. The push from behind on Julius Tedford. That'll be the 3rd team foul whistled against Utah State.
Now you want to talk about getting lucky if you're Memphis. You cannot give a team like Utah State multiple opportunities in the half court to hunt for threes after offensive rebounds.
Correction, 2nd team foul against Utah State. Utah State also a team that fouls on the heavier end. Opponents are hitting nearly 19 free throws per game against them. Parker up top. Ashton Hardaway, the son of Penny Hardaway, number 3, checking in.
That took him a long time to get into that set. Now there's 10 seconds on the shot clock.
You pointed it out, a team that wants to shoot in the first 7 seconds has less than 7 seconds remaining. Bradshaw in the corner, not where he wants to be. That 3 well off target. Givens the catch, Tedford down low, easy money.
You gotta love how much energy and effort the sophomore Curtis Givens III brings. Good job of crashing that offensive glass, knowing the quick shot was gonna happen.
This feels like a game where Givens and Tedford need to be active on both ends of the floor, and one of the first players to any basketball. Memphis spent significant time working on their full court press and half court defense. Templin, no hesitation, cans the 3.
He's a decent three-point shooter. You got to respect him at 33%. There's that ball movement again, right? Getting the defense shifted.
Templin had a career-high 18 points in their win against San Diego State at home a few weeks ago. Was 2 of 3 from outside in that game. Bradshaw, mismatch. Swings it to the corner. Givens fires, tough angle, somehow found it.
Bradshaw with one of the best passes of his season, throwing that along the baseline, because Drake Allen, even though there was a mismatch, he was in perfect defensive position.
We've had a bouquet of lead changes already. It's the 7th one. Collins, he gets fouled. That's the 2nd foul on a 3-point shot committed by Memphis, as Collins will trot to the line for 3 free throws.
You're going to watch Collins right here. He's going to get an open look with 2 defenders that close out on him. He is one of the best catch-and-shoot shooters in college basketball. We'll talk more about those analytics throughout the course of the game, but no way that you can give MJ Collins that much space.
That's the 2nd personal on Parker, who we mentioned is such a key scoring piece for Memphis, as Collins will go to the line and hit the first free throw.
There's something to monitor over the course of the game, and as we get into the second half, Utah State, I mean, by all intents and purposes right now, they're going to be at the free throw line a lot. Memphis is already fouling a decent amount to start this first half, but Utah State is a below average free throw shooting team. They're just at 70% from the line. It's 10th in the Mountain West.
There's a reviews
to determine who committed the illegal contact.
So an official review to see who the foul was on, because Parker right now has 2 fouls. They whistled it on him initially. Let's take another look here, Mike, because that was what Penny Hardaway was arguing, that it should not have been on Parker.
The first Memphis player to touch Collins.
Was it Ashton Hardaway? Here's a better angle.
This can be a good look. And it should be Hardaway. Hardaway was the first person to hit. You could see his right arm bump the hip of MJ Collins. So absolutely that foul should be on Hardaway.
And it depends on when they were whistling this foul. Is it on the contact right there? Or was it on Parker, who on his follow through on the closeout did commit some contact against Collins?
Just one important note, this is an official's review. This doesn't count as a coach's count.
After review, the foul has been changed to blue number 3.
So they do change the foul to Ashton Hardaway. And now you distribute the fouls a little bit more evenly across the roster, and that'll leave Parker with just 1 personal. But it doesn't take away from the fact, Mike, that's the 2nd foul on a 3-point shot, and Utah State is getting ready to shoot their 7th and 8th free throws of the game already. MJ Collins, the transfer from Vanderbilt, averaging just over 18 points per game. Coach Calhoun said he's come here and he's just been incredible in the way that he doesn't force his shots or his scoring as well, too. It really comes in with the rhythm and the flow of the offense.
Just an additional note on your fouls comments. That can be a compounding effect for Memphis. Besides the obvious of putting points on the board, Utah State loves to jump into full court press. We're seeing it right now.
Elijah Perryman seeing his first action for Utah State. You love the game of this freshman. He's defending Parker up top. Parker still dribbling, sends it over to Hardaway. Hardaway, mid-range jumper, it's pure.
And that was smooth, catching it off 2 feet. A quick little look at the rim to freeze the defender.
Runs in the family.
I would say so.
Another lead change. It's our 9th of the game already. Perryman up top, coming off a 16-point performance in the victory over Fresno State. Clark, he's left all alone for a 2-point jumper. No good. Givens taps it to himself, keeps it in bounds.
Best defensive possession for Memphis. That's the shot that you want. A contested mid-range from Clark.
To your point, when Memphis doesn't foul, Utah State struggling to score the ball. The Aggies now 3 of 13 to start this game.
That's what happened in the North Texas game. That's how they got back into that game, by playing great gap integrity defense.
Givens, shot clock is at 5. Inside to Bradshaw. He's got to operate. Bradshaw tied up with 3 defenders. Bradshaw can't get it up in time. And Utah State with their best defensive possession of the game.
The Aggies are so good at that. Double teaming without fouling. What a great game we have here in Logan. Tough, physical, Hardaway. Step back, mid-range. Give me all that you got.
You're watching college basketball on CBS Sports Network, presented by Fresh Pets.
College basketball on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Geico. It feels good to Geico. By AT&T. Connecting changes everything. And by Rinvoq.
Utah State's best NCAA tournament seed is an 8 seed. It happened twice. In 2019, they lost to 9th seed Washington in the first round, and then in 2024, they won in the first round and then lost to the 9th seed against TCU. Moments ago, our very own Jordan Giorgio caught up with Jared Calhoun.
Coach, this is exactly what you expected, a tough matchup. 9 lead changes already. What are you seeing early from your group?
Yeah, I mean, it'll loosen up. You got to give Memphis a lot of credit, man. They're guarding us really well. We've missed some shots, but I like where our defense is. We got to get better on the offensive end with our execution.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jordan. And you do wonder how Utah State will adjust to the physicality in this game and the length, as we said, because Memphis provides length that Utah State will not see in the Mountain West this year. As you take a look at the early shooting, Utah State started this game 0 for 7. This is a ball club, Mike, that shoots north of 50% on the season.
Differences in this game is that Utah State has made 6 free throws. They're not shooting the ball great. The length is clearly affecting Utah State's ability to run their half-court offense, but they're getting to the free throw line.
Falslev up top will reset the offense, and you just see that shell that Memphis shows trying to cut off all driving lanes. Tough take, no good. Gibbons retreating the dribble, lining things up. Not much movement or action right now for Memphis in the half court.
They do have a tendency to stall out on the offensive end, but this is the guy that can get him break free.
Parker inside. Silla up and over, but he took steps beforehand. Turnover Memphis. Well, these Aggies are encroaching on a 4th straight NCAA tournament appearance, and so far, one of the most impressive resumes in all of the mid-major programs.
Yeah, CBS Sports Bracketology has them as an 8 seed if the season ended today. I think their ceiling could be as high as a 5 seed as they go, a 7 seed is what CBS Sports Bracketology has them as. But they could be as high as a 5 seed if they run through the Mountain West Conference tournament.
The 3 from Elamine, and a much-needed triple for Utah State. Memphis wasting no time. Corner 3 for Thedford, no good. Falslev, he's left wide open. Oh, yeah. Timeout, Memphis. Logan has woken up Utah State, a 5-point lead as the Aggies start to find their rhythm. Five-point lead for Utah State after back-to-back triples, and really it's just a matter of getting open looks after the defense collapses.
It's a great job of playing off of 2 feet from the freshman Perryman, and then to his freshman teammate. This is out in transition. Doesn't get more wide open than that for Mason Falslev. That is where Utah State is so good. There are only 2 teams in college basketball that are more efficient than Utah State in transition. They're 3rd in the nation in transition offensive efficiency. They're ahead of teams like Arkansas, Florida, Iowa State. They got a 63% field goal percentage in transition. It's awesome.
And both these teams want to live in transition and find those easy looks, as Givens is bumped. That'll be a foul against Colby King coming up. His first personal 3rd team foul against Utah State. You mentioned the percentage of points that come in transition. Utah State, it's a mindset. It's the way their defense sets things up as well, too. And you have players like Falslev and Collins that are so good at attacking the cup also. Quiet start so far for McDaniel, the team's leading scorer. He's scoreless on 0 for 2 until that bucket.
Right on point. He heard you, Jordan. And he is averaging close to about almost 13 a game. One of the fastest players in the nation with the basketball in his hands.
We mentioned the 15 different starting lineups this year for Memphis. McDaniel has played 350 more minutes than anybody else on this Memphis roster, as King can't connect. Memphis shooting 6 of 13 from the field, just shy of 50%. And then that's going to be a foul on Elamine, as he was poking Bradshaw from behind. But look at this difference. There is no other team in the country that has this type of separation when it comes to playing time.
Yeah, I mean, Doug McDaniel could be out there for 40 minutes and not break a sweat. He has that kind of motor. To think he's got to do so much on both ends of the floor. He's still top 20 in the nation in steals.
Poked away. Falslev nearly got it. Numbers advantage for Memphis. Attacking. Hardaway fading away. No good. Offensive rebound to Silla. McDaniel wanted it. Instead, he puts it on the deck, flips it up. No good. Silla right there to clean it up.
How about the energy from Tierno Silla? I mean, attacking that offensive glass.
Perryman, nice find to Elamine. Collins left all alone in the corner. No connection there. And a foul on the floor that's going to be against Silla, who was holding Keller.
McDaniel has to get this shot off quickly, but Silla there to clean up on the glass.
It's the second foul on Silla, 5th team foul against Memphis. This is a team that we said will look for those loose balls after the misses, leading the NCAA in percentage of points off of second chance opportunities. Elamine hit one earlier. This one too strong. Keller comes crashing in for the board.
That's the second time that Keller's been able to keep possession alive on the offensive side.
4 rebounds for him. He rattles home the 3.
He's been playing well, dropped 11 points in their recent win over Fresno State.
This is what Memphis will do. They have a lot of sets they want to get into in the half court when things slow down. Bradshaw, double team coming, spins away. Bradshaw weaves his way to the cup for the nice reverse.
I think there are Memphis fans that want to see more of that from Aaron Bradshaw.
Falslev creates the contact, sent to the floor, and that's going to be a foul against Bradshaw. That'll be his first personal, 6th against Memphis.
You could tell Utah State's starting to find a little rhythm on the opposite side of the floor. And Bradshaw, little spin, little finish. This is a ball game here in Logan.
Two-point Utah State lead with 7:20 left here in the first half. Moments ago, Jordan Giorgio caught up with Penny Hardaway.
Coach, this is a challenge you wanted. You're keeping pace, but how do you take full control to end the half?
Yeah, you got to protect the ball like we're doing because they're switching everything. You got to get back in transition. They're starting to get loose on these threes, but we're taking a challenge because we came to play this game. It's a great game for us, and we just got to, continue to play hard.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jordan. And Utah State started this game off 0 of 5 from 3. Since then, they've been able to connect on 4 of their last 7. And that's what makes Utah State so dangerous. They get after you defensively, but they can hurt you on the offensive end. And for Penny Hardaway, over the last 5 seasons at Memphis, you see that they've gone to the tournament 3 of the last 4 seasons. This year clearly has been the most challenging. A Memphis team that didn't return a single point from last year.
So Memphis is going to have to win the American Conference tournament to get in the NCAA tournament. They're going to have to. And if they're going to do that, it's going to be because of their defense. And they have the ability to do that. We've talked about their length. It's clearly bothering Utah State, one of the most efficient offenses in all of college basketball. When they're dialed in and not fouling, it is suffocating to try to score against this Memphis defense. It's just a matter of consistently not fouling and playing great gap help defense.
We've mentioned the fouls already. They fouled on 2 3-point shots as Falslev, who was a 58% free throw shooter last year, is at 80% this year. And Utah State now 7 of 10 from the free throw line. Three-point lead for Utah State. Just over 7 minutes left in this one. Tough shot by Parker, misses everything.
2 hands went up in the air for Penny Hardaway. Could not believe that shot from Parker.
Aggies reverse it. Perryman thought about challenging. He'll reset the offense with 15 to shoot. Falslev, Aggies have to get it in the paint. Falslev falling backwards, gets it to Collins. Collins, this will be a deep shot. The pump fake hits the front of the rim. Rebound Memphis. Tigers roaring down the floor. It's Parker that's able to smooch it off the window.
Did you see his eyes on that drive in transition? He kept his eyes up the whole time at the rim. What a difficult and tough finish from Parker.
Collins 0 of 3 from the field as Keller foul, and Let's send it down to Jordan Georgia, who's got more on the coaching relationship.
Yeah, guys, full circle moment for Utah State's Coach Calhoun after Tuesday's win over Fresno State. The first thing he told his guys in the locker room, you know who's coming here next, right? Memphis, and one of my favorite players, Penny Hardaway. Calhoun told me Larry Bird was always #1, but Hardaway was a close second. Like so many, always admired the way he played, redefined the point guard position. So pretty cool moment to be coaching against him for the first time.
It really was, Jordan. And Mike, the first thing that strikes you when you meet Coach Hardaway is just his height, and imagining a point guard at his size and all that he was able to do on the floor. And how good was he with some of those early 90s Magic teams when he's paired up with Shaq?
He was one of the funnest players to watch in the NBA. And I mean, I grew up in the state of Florida, live in Central Florida, and remember those Orlando Magic days very well. That was one of the best tandems in the NBA. I feel like you were saying it may have made a short joke at my expense.
No, not at all. No, no.
About that?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
You wouldn't know if I
Okay.
made one. I'll make it
Okay.
very clear for you. Wouldn't want it to go above
My
your head.
apologies.
Ball gets knocked out of
there you go.
bounds. Officials give this to Memphis. So 20 to shoot for the Tigers, who give them a lot of credit, have come into this game, this hostile environment, have gone toe-to-toe with Utah State. Elamine the steal, but it goes right back into the hands of Givens. Open three, he can't capitalize. Would have been a huge opportunity for Memphis. The Tigers now 2 of 7 from 3. Collins can't get it, still struggling from the floor. Cross court find to Givens. They whip it to the corner. Parker, no hesitation, rattles out Bradshaw, storming the boards. He gets fouled. The energy, the activity from the Tigers, it is full tilt right now.
That's the 4th rebound for Aaron Bradshaw, and they need to be, they need to have him as an 8 rebound a game kind of guy. He gets 4.5 rebounds on the season, but his energy and effort at attacking, especially the offensive glass, has been very good.
It's the first foul on Keller. Bradshaw to the line, was a 78% shooter on the year. Well, tomorrow morning at 9 Eastern, head out to the pitch and catch a Scottish Professional Football League showdown as Kilmarnock hosts Celtic right here on CBS Sports Network. Bradshaw's an interesting case study. Coming out of high school, he was the #2 ranked recruit. A McDonald's All-American, initially went to Kentucky, then spent some time at Ohio State, and is now here at Memphis. He has started 9 straight games. During that stretch, Mike has played very well, averaging nearly 13 points a game. Balslev down the lane, blocked, met at the summit. Parker racing down the floor. He picks up another foul, and Memphis continuing to step on the gas here.
This is the second time this game that Memphis has done an excellent job of walling up. That's pretty good defense, man. And then Parker again, drawing the foul, getting out in transition.
The foul was on King, his second. Sincere Parker at the line with 8 points already. And bench players like him, we call them microwaves, right? They come off the floor,
Yeah.
They're looking for buckets. There are a couple of shots that you might feel come forced, but the mentality of a pure scorer with that second unit, you want to see that. It's consistent every night.
No question. And he has the green light. I mean, that light is bright green. And when he steps into the game, his job is to attack and hunt for buckets.
Aggies won for their last 7, no field goals over the last 2.5 minutes. So that top 50 defense for Memphis flexing its muscle here in the first half. A steal in the open floor. It's Parker that got a hand on it. Parker with the left, the finesse and the finish. Memphis with a 3-point lead.
Memphis is top 20 in the nation in steals per game. They get just over 9 steals a game, and they do such a good job of even on ball getting deflections and steals.
This non-conference first ever matchup between Memphis and Utah State. This would be a quad 3 loss for the Aggies if they drop this one. Templin down low, so good with the pump fakes, able to get a couple defenders to crash in on him.
Watch the defense here from Parker. Gets it in the passing lane and then is able to stay with it without fouling. Maybe holds and pushes off just a little bit. 11 points for Sincere Parker in this first half.
Carson Templin stepped to the line, and Templin and Falslev have been the cogs of consistency here at Utah State, a program that for 3 consecutive seasons had a brand new head coach and made it to the NCAA tournament in each of those seasons. And now with Calhoun returning for his 2nd season, they have a chance to go 4 straight seasons going to the NCAA tournament now.
This brings a high level of leadership to this Utah State team. We need to go back to something that you said, Jordan, which is really important, and I do not want to gloss it over. Memphis has nothing to lose in this game. Nothing. They have to win the American Conference tournament to get in the NCAA tournaments. So there's a great drive by McDaniel in the open floor. But this would be a quad 3 loss for Utah State. That does affect your resume.
Here's Sincere Parker in the early going. Zero hesitation as he catches, rises, and you see how much he's attacking the glass here.
Really done a little bit of everything. He's knocked down a 3. He hasn't missed a free throw. 4-4 from the free throw line. And it's been excellent on the defensive end as well.
McDaniel swirls in the first free throw. And what you're really seeing from a lot of the backcourt players right now from Memphis, they want to attack one-on-one. You brought up the stat. That is where Utah State, this defense that is so improved, is at their weakest, the one-on-one plays. And when teams can out-athlete them at times, it puts the Aggies on their heels.
Yeah, Utah State gives up their most points per possession in the half court when they're guarding one-on-one isolation action.
Simon Majok called for the over the back, and that'll send Utah State to the free throw line.
That's one of those offensive fouls that you're frustrated with, but you're not angry with if you're Coach Hardaway, because at least you're showing a lot of effort. You know who's at the free throw line? Doug McDaniel there. He's got 3 points in this first half. This has been a really good team effort for Memphis on both sides of the floor. They haven't had to have McDaniel score at a high level.
McDaniel without an assist yet, but really it's Parker that's doing most of the scoring for the Tigers as Templin laces the first free throw.
Well, I think Curtis Givens III has been very good in this game. 5 points, 3 rebounds, and he's got 2 assists.
Aggies have already shot 15 free throws in this game, make it 16. They've hit 12 of them. We're tied up at 28 apiece with just over 4 minutes left in the first half. Givens flips it over. Parker, another strong drive. Templin sends it out of here. And Parker really wanted a foul there, but we've seen a lot of physicality let play.
A lot of times it's the full court press. It's not about a steal, but forcing you to take a contested shot. Templin coming from the weak side. Little no soup for you here in Logan.
Hardaway, fade away, it's short. Utah State has now gone 4 minutes without a field goal. Collins trying to bulldoze his way in, using the shot fake. Ball popcorns in and picks up the foul. Timeout on the floor, MJ Collins. Craftiness personified amongst the trees, able to fake him out. He's headed to the foul line, and Utah State up 2. 2-point lead for Utah State, 3:58 left here in the first half. Well, for Memphis, Sincere Parker is playing amid a looming legal case from a July arrest. He faces aggravated assault and vandalism charges from an alleged altercation with his ex-girlfriend and has pleaded not guilty. Parker's court dates have been repeatedly delayed, with yesterday's appearance pushed back to February 24th. And this has been a season with adversity for Memphis. There's no shying that. It's their worst start over 24 games since 1999 and 2000. But when you talk to Coach Hardaway, There's a lot of coaching going on still, a lot of optimism. And he has really helped bring some consistency to this Memphis program. But as a player, when you've got teammates dealing with adversity, what would go through your mind as far as your effort on the floor and what you needed to bring to the table when things maybe weren't going great for your team?
Well, that's a locker room conversation. That is not a one-on-one conversation. That's a team locker room conversation that you have to put all extracurricular activities aside outside of the court and focus on getting better possession by possession. It sounds cliche, but in my opinion, it's the only way to stay mentally dialed in.
Collins completes the three-point play. Three-point lead for Utah State as they set up their press. Credit both teams. They've done a really nice job of hanging on to the basketball. Just 4 turnovers for Memphis and a foul before that was thrown out of bounds. It's against Drake Allen. And Allen picking up his second foul, but that's free throws coming up. Well, coming up on the AT&T at the half, Brent Stover, Chris Walker, Roy Hibbert, and John Rothstein will break down this game and get you caught up with all the action around college basketball on this busy Saturday. This is all coming up on AT&T at the half. This game will get interesting now that Memphis is in the bonus because, again, Utah State is the team that'll foul. It's a chance for the Tigers to get to the line and get some easy points here.
And on the road, those are at a premium. If you can get to the free throw line, which is something they weren't able to do against North Texas in their last loss.
Givens is a 58% free throw shooter. That did not look like a pair of free throws from somebody shooting 58% this season.
No, you can see his form. He's got great follow through. There's really good backspin on the ball.
Tigers cut it to 1.
We got zone here for Memphis.
Collins, open look in the corner this time. No rim necessary. Collins hits his first 3 of the game. He was 0 for 4 before that. 5th made 3 of the half for Utah State. Hardaway, corner 3, no good. Rebound to King. Up ahead is Perryman. Bounce pass. Collins on the fly. What a play! Givens to Hardaway. Tigers need a bucket here. Instead, they spill it over. Perryman running the break. False left. Watch out! It's an Aggie avalanche. Collins almost had that one. Deflected into the hands of Givens. His 3, no good. Templin fighting for it. Givens picks up the loose ball. Givens, baseline jumper, it's good, and a much-needed volume decrease in here for Memphis.
How good has Curtis Givens III been? 9 points in the first half. It just feels like he's everywhere, all over the court.
That might have been the most important bucket of the first half for Memphis, the way this crowd was jazzed up at that moment. And why were they jazzed up? Well, the transition looks.
We talked about how good the transition offense for Utah State is. There's a pure unselfishness. That is a dime and a half from the freshman Elijah Perryman. No wasted movement, and then Falslev knifing through the middle of the floor.
A near steal. Templin down low. The headband hanging on the rim. This game has escalated quickly. 8-point lead for Utah State. McDaniel was thinking about the 3. 8 seconds to shoot. Memphis needs a good look here. McDaniel off balance, sent to the floor, no whistle. It's Falslev in a foot race, dumps it off. Perryman met up top, Falslev to follow it up.
Look at
and then
that.
a loose ball. Utah State will scoop it up.
I think Perryman got away with a foul there.
Templin for three. Oh, it's good. They're going bonkers here in Logan. Bradshaw fouled by Templin. It's a 14-2 run for Utah State. We heard Jared Calhoun tell Jordan Giorgio this game will separate soon, and it did so in dramatic fashion. 13-point lead, timeout on the floor. Utah State starting to pull away. Welcome back. 13-point lead for Utah State with 40 seconds left. This has been a 14-2 run over just 2 minutes and 50 seconds. You pointed it out, this was just a 2-point game a couple of minutes ago.
It's an epic avalanche of transition offense from Utah State. You get the steal, quick swing pass. How good has Templin been? 14 in the first half for Templin.
His career high is 18 points. He had it this year against San Diego State. He's already hit 2 triples, perfect from the free throw line. If you look at the bench points, he has every single bench point for the Aggies. But now it's up to Aaron Bradshaw to go to the line and try and stabilize Memphis here on the road. And we had talked about how Memphis had done a nice job of not turning the ball over. They had a couple of turnovers, and with just 6 turnovers, Utah State has turned that into 10 points. We have a substitution coming in.
You know what lineup has really bothered Memphis? This 4-guard lineup for Utah State, where you've essentially got 4 players on the court that can handle the point guard position. The freshman Elijah Perryman has had some big-time dimes in the first half. 4 assists, 0 turnovers for the freshman.
William Morton checking in for Memphis. About 30 seconds left. 9 seconds separating shotgun game clock. It's King. Crown him in the corner. Perryman just serving it up for his teammates. Memphis can hold for the last shot as the Aggies nearing 50 points here in the first half.
And now you've got the Aggies in the zone.
Parker inside, McDaniel back to Parker. 3 seconds, 2 seconds. Parker corner 3, no good. Givens can't get it, and Utah State stampeding in the last couple of minutes for the Aggies to build a 14-point lead. 7 triples in the first half.
Man, oh man, can Utah State get hot quickly? The freshman with a dime on the baseline. Whoop, that was fast and furious, my friend.
Let's send it on over to Jordan Giorgio, who's standing by with Carson Templin.
Carson, what allowed you guys to separate yourself down the stretch there?
We just need to get our offense going a little bit. We were a little stagnant at first, so that's all we needed.
How do you maintain that on the other side?
We got to go watch some film at halftime and then look where we were struggling, and we'll improve that and just keep it going.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Guys.
Thank you, Jordan. Templin, 14 points to lead all scorers in this game. That's the end of the first half. Now we send it to Brent Stover and company in the New York studio for the AT&T at the half. You're watching college basketball on CBS Sports Network, presented by Fresh Pet. Welcome back to Logan, Utah. Let's take a look at the game summary brought to you by AT&T. The difference in this one, the 3-point shooting for the Aggies that ended the first half on a 17-4 run. Moments ago, our very own Jordan Giorgio caught up with Memphis guard Curtis Givens.
Curtis, strong start, but Utah State starting to create some separation. How do you guys close this gap?
We just have to be the more disciplined team, and they're playing a zone, and it's kind of tricking us up, and we just got to be more aggressive in the zone and make plays.
Your defense early on allowed you to keep pace, but how do you allow that to fuel your offense in the second half?
We talked about it before the game in the locker room. We're going to turn defense into offense, and we did that in the first 15 minutes.
Thanks, Curtis.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jordan. Jordan Kent alongside Mike O'Donnell. This was a 2-point game with about 4 minutes left in the first half. Then the Aggies just took over. Explain to me how that 17-4 run just exploded.
Two things: turnovers that led to offensive fast breaks for Utah State, and poor shot selection for Memphis. That really hurt the Tigers in that last 3.5 minutes. You see the turnovers where Utah State can get out and run. The freshman Perriman was surgical in transition, throwing dime after dime, and then everything started to, as you said, Aggie avalanche in that last 3.5 minutes. Getting out, running in transition, finding the open three-point shooters. Utah State can get hot quick.
The Aggies finished the half 8 of 9 from the field. Memphis was just 2 of 10. It's the first ever meeting between these two mid-major powerhouses over the last couple of years. Memphis has gone to the tournament 3 out of the last 4 years. Utah State seeking their 4th straight appearance this season. The Aggies number 23 in the nets.
Memphis in his zone, and Utah State keeps trying to get it to the free throw line.
Elamine, step back 3, no good. Racing down for the offensive rebound is Keller, who was fouled by Tierno Silla. That's his 3rd foul.
And he almost grabbed his 4th offensive rebound in this game. Zach Keller was great on the offensive glass in that first half. He grabbed 3 offensive rebounds and kept 2 other possessions alive.
Turnover by the Aggies. McDaniel initiates the break, gets it back. Clean look for him. Can't capitalize. And Mike, that's the thing lately. When Memphis does get a good look, they can't hit it, and then they can't save it there either.
Drake Allen tries to throw it off the back of McDaniel. Doesn't time it up well at all.
So a coach's challenge coming from Penny Hardaway. They want to challenge the out-of-bounds call on the baseline. So Memphis with their first challenge of the game.
Take
a look at this one. Every possession
challenged by Memphis coach.
Very important for them. One more look. That looks to be off Elamine. The officials will take a look at it. Penny Hardaway trying to save a penny of a possession when we come back. Welcome back. Memphis challenging the ruling on the court. It was deemed Utah State ball. Coach's challenge rules. Each team starts the game with 1 challenge. The coach must call a timeout to initiate that challenge. If successful, they're going to be awarded 1 more final challenge and keep the timeout. If you're unsuccessful, you lose the timeout. No more challenges. We seem to think Penny Hardaway is going to win this challenge.
Yeah, it does look like it goes off of the fingertips of the freshman Elamine at the very end with his right hand.
We've seen a lot of coaching staffs across the country, and that is deemed a successful challenge. It'll be Memphis basketball. A lot of coaching staffs across the country have somebody on the bench that'll have a live instant replay of what just happened in order for the coaches to quickly reference it, because sometimes you don't have a quick or clean look on the video monitor in the arena.
And so Coach Hardaway gets to keep
After review,
his challenge.
The call's been overturned. It's going to be Memphis ball. 19-22 on the game clock, 20 seconds on the shot clock. Successful challenge, and they keep their ability to challenge and also their timeout.
You can't boo the facts right there. So now Memphis will take it on the baseline. They trail by 14. They've kept it pretty much a 1 or 2 possession game. We had double-digit lead changes in the first half before a 17-4 run by Utah State, and a foul here against Collins. Collins will pick up his first foul, and it's Parker headed to the free throw line. So we saw Parker come off the bench in the first half. He starts the second half for Memphis. He's got 11 points already. Make it a dozen. Well, tonight at 12:30 Eastern, set sail with CBS Sports Network and get ready to witness thrills and spills in the most intense race on water with the ITM New Zealand Sail Grand Prix. You live near some water, Mike. You ever go sailing every once in a while?
I'm not a sailor per se, more of a fisherman. I like to go off the dock or off the shore as much as I can.
Do you actually catch anything?
You're always catching something.
Here's Collins. He's trying to catch it easy too, and he does. Utah State, when they get into transition, they can just be so lethal at times. Givens can't get it. Ball is batted around, and that will be Utah State ball.
Did you see Falslev fake go at that, and it froze the Memphis defenders? There's Falslev. I mean, he really makes that play happen. Yes, it's a really good finish, but Falslev getting it to the middle of the floor and then pitching it ahead. Tough.
10 fast break points for Utah State. Drake Allen didn't play much in the first half because of foul trouble this time. Turns the corner, up top, Collins, pump fake. Collins, the floater, it's good, and the foul. Fouls whistled against Bradshaw. And that's the second personal on him.
Ball fake, get the defender flying, playing off of 2 feet. He is so good at staying under control within his own pace. And what a great get in the transfer portal for Jared Calhoun.
The Drake Allen-MJ Collins connection has been the most popular one on the floor this season for Utah State. 30 times the duo have combined for a bucket, as Collins can't complete the three-point play. Drake Allen again leads the Mountain West Conference in assists so far this season. Parker nearly lost the handle. Elamine using the length to bother him. McDaniel takes a bit of a bump and steps on the end line. Utah State ball.
Does Falslev get there in time? Yeah, there's really no bump there. That's just Falslev keeping his hands up and sliding appropriately.
Great stomp by the baseline, that third defender sometimes. Falslev, he's got room, lets it fly. Oh, cans another one. Falslev with 13 points, 3 Aggies in double figures, and then a foul on the other end.
Give Falslev that much room, time, his feet are already set. He is one of the more efficient half-court scorers in college basketball. It's actually 23rd in the nation in half-court scoring efficiency. He's ahead of guys like Keaton Wagler for Illinois, A.J. DeBonsa for BYU. Those are lottery picks.
I was going to say, those guys might be hearing their names called sometime this June to go to the National Basketball Association. That last foul was on Drake Allen, by the way, his third. And Doug McDaniel staring into an abyss of distraction in the student section. Doesn't faze him as he hits the second free throw. Utah State just 4 turnovers in this game. Doing a really nice job, and right on cue, it's ripped away by McDaniel. McDaniel fighting through 2 defenders, nearly got the continuation. They're going to wave it off. 2 free throws coming up.
And that's the only way for Memphis right now. They need deflections, they need steals, they need tenacity, they need aggressiveness. I mean, that possession from McDaniel, he is one of the best in the nation at steals. 20th best in the country.
And that's the 4th foul on Drake Allen. But for Memphis, the problem is Elijah Perryman's going to come in to spell him. Perryman was the one that sliced and diced you towards the end of the first half.
That last 3.5 minutes in the first half, so much of that was ignited by the passing and defense of the freshman Elijah Perryman, number 1 for Utah State.
McDaniel just 5 points, 1 of 6 from the field. They're checking to make sure that's the 4th foul on Allen. It's confirmed. McDaniel rolls home the second free throw.
Well, that's one of the gifts for this Utah State team, their depth, especially in the backcourt. You've got one of the best passers in the country in Drake Allen, and you back him up with one of the best freshman passers in the country.
McDaniel whistled for the foul, his second. You mentioned this bench is essentially an entire second starting 5 at times. Templin, Clark, King, Perryman can come in and do some damage. Tucker Anderson will also step in from time to time and chip in, but any given night, a different player for Utah State can lead them in scoring. Falslev flying through the air. He's fouled. 2 free throws coming up for him. That's another foul on Bradshaw. It's his 3rd personal.
Here's Falslev up here. He's going to cut as soon as he sees his teammate in trouble. And that cut is so much of what makes Utah State so dangerous. They never wait. They're always moving, cutting, and attacking.
And Jordan, Giorgio, you've got more on Mason Falslev.
Yeah, Jordan, you mentioned Mason Falslev's title earlier, the mayor of Logan. You need somewhere to eat, Mason's got the spot. Your car's acting up, he knows the mechanic. You're looking for insurance. Of course he's got a guy, he tells me, growing up in the area. That's how Mason Falslev's earned the title his freshman year, mayor of Logan, from his teammate Darius Brown. So Jordan, kind of like MOD there, always got a guy, got a plug for something in the 407.
Mike has always got a guy. He is, you know, there's 6 degrees of separation, but if you know Mike O'Donnell, you're just one call away from anything you need in this world. McDaniel, baseline jumper. It's short. He gets his own miss. McDaniel, again, rises up, drops in the teardrop.
Well, thank you guys for that. I still don't know what a plug is, but I do got a guy for a lot of things.
Right now, Utah State has got a guy that can score essentially anywhere on the floor as they lead this one by 14. Memphis trying to do all they can to chop into this lead. Parker, tough scooping shot. Bradshaw up and over. Offensive dunk putback.
Yeah, more. You need more of that from Aaron Bradshaw.
Keep in mind, UNLV was down double digits in the second half. They came back to beat Utah State on this very same floor earlier in the season. Still a lot of basketball left in this one. Collins in the corner, defended by Hardaway. Falslev puts it on the floor, nearly lost it. El-Amin spacing out. El-Amin, the crossover, picks up the foul. That was a thing of beauty.
You and I both kind of sat up a little bit. This is a 6'9" freshman. Man, what a play. There's Bradshaw being attacking on the offensive glass. Watch El-Amin. Oh, man, step cross like that? Come on, man.
There's a couple coaches that say El-Amin might be the best NBA prospect in the Mountain West Conference. Some comparisons to Pascal Siakam.
Yeah. A top 10 player out of the state of Virginia. It offers from Arizona State, Iowa, Penn State, VCU. Really, really skilled. And the good thing about his game is that it fits the system of Utah State really well. He doesn't have to just go and do something out of his comfort zone. He can wait. He's got so many playmakers around him that he can pick his spots on when to go.
The only thing they really want him to work on is gaining some weight. And we told Coach Calhoun, just have him spend a couple days with us. He'll have no problem putting on some pounds.
Oh, yeah, we hit Johnny O's up this morning.
Oh, yes.
Spud nuts here in Logan.
Made from potato flour from the nearby great state of Idaho.
Elite donut stop for us.
Back to the athletes that are in shape on the floor. Gibbons behind the back. McDaniel had an open look for 3, passes it up. This time Templin switches on him. Bit of a monkey wrench thrown out there by this Utah State defense. Perryman comes over a little too aggressive on the help defense. Timeout on the floor, the Utah State Aggies. They've been tough to beat at home, and right now they lead by 14. 14-point lead for Utah State, 15:45 left in this ball game. We mentioned Drake Allen earlier in the broadcast. His travels throughout the state of Utah at his different collegiate stops. It began at Snow College, where he didn't even start playing basketball there. He then went to an open tryout and has worked his way up through the universal ladder, and now he is set for even bigger things off the floor. And for more on that, we send it over to George Giorgio.
Yeah, he has a little extra motivation these days. How about a baby boy due February 20th? Just 6 days away. Now, despite that, his wife, Hallie, is here in the stands tonight. cheering him on. You see her there. I asked Drake, what's the plan? Because you have a game next week in Reno. He said, oh, I'm going to play at Nevada, fly home, and we're headed straight to the hospital at 1 a.m. Everything's packed, ready to go, just waiting for their newest teammate to arrive.
Thank you, Jordan. He was so excited talking about his upcoming son. He did mention his wife wants to go to Mountain West Conference. Turn off that conversation. That dunk was exceptional. Coming through was William Wharton in the lane.
Oh, what a steal.
Memphis the steal. McDaniel attacking. And it's Thedford the foul and the bucket, and the Tigers trying to claw back into this game.
What did Curtis Givens tell Jordan Giorgio coming out of halftime? So we have got to create offense from our defense. That's a great cut and a dime on baseline out of bounds. You got a chance for a real quick 5-point play.
I had a story about the Drake Allen family in Memphis. Said we still have a ball game going on in Logan. They've cut the lead to single digits as Thedford adds some tip to the bill. So Memphis now 3 for their last 3. Utah State, no field goals in the last 2 minutes and 40 seconds, and that'll clinch the drought. So Perryman with the lay-in, his first 2 points of the game. Givens, tough 3, reins it in.
Here we go.
Memphis starting to pick up steam. Can the Tigers get back to some of that defense we saw the first 10 minutes of this game, where they could defend without fouling in the half court? It's King that slips behind him.
The cutting every time a Utah State driver drives from the weak side, it is so good. Automatic for the Aggies.
How about Perryman? 6 assists already in this game in just 13 minutes of action. McDaniel trying to shake the defender. Skies for the lay-in. More than half the bench on their feet for Memphis. This is a team that has played at North Texas just a couple nights ago and now up here in Logan, Utah for the first time ever. That's a foul from behind against Templin.
Curtis Givens is just ripping a 3 in Templin's face, and then watch playing off of 2 feet. That's how those Villanova guards always play, playing off of 2 feet. And then there's Doug McDaniel. You want to talk about inside-out cross there. That is tough.
Fouls on William Wharton, defending Templin. Templin with 14 points in the first half, and he's going to be whistled for the travel.
Been a while since Memphis has missed a shot. They are 5 for their last 5 from the field, and now starting to put the clamps on defensively as well. You pick up that pivot foot. Yep, that right foot slides just enough. Good call there.
Utah State started this game off 3 of 13. They have now buoyed back up to their normal percentage, essentially shooting 49% now. Givens, the fake, nearly lost the ball, coughs it up. King trying to rip it away. King comes up with it. A skirmish on the floor, jump ball, possession Memphis.
Givens, the third, was a little too unselfish there. He actually should have shot it. Watch here. You got to take that shot enough.
I'll argue Perryman did a nice job of coming from behind.
Yeah, I agree with that.
To get a hand somewhere in the peripheral.
Givens may have kind of felt that pressure behind him.
They reset the shot clock to 20. That was key. There was only 6 on it before. They tried to go inside. Thedford against Falslev. Templin, Skies with the block. Up ahead, it's MJ. Be like Mike. Thedford moves some furniture, a physical finish. Just muscle Templin out of the way.
Grown man's move. That hurt me.
That's a mortgage and 401k move down low. And a bit of a miscommunication Utah State bailed out by a foul on the floor, whistled against Parker.
Look at the block from Templin. He's had 2 monster blocks from the weak side in this game. Times it up perfectly, and then out Utah State goes out in transition. One of the best in the country at taking defense and turning it into offense. I mean, it just happens quick, doesn't it? Block, loose ball, outlet, go. Block, loose ball, outlet, go. Great thing about block shots, they are fast break catalysts.
Templin hits the free throw. Keep this in mind. You highlighted how much Memphis fouls. We have 13 minutes left in this game, and Utah State is in the bonus already. Templin with 15 points. Talked about his energy and activity at both ends of the floor. Bradshaw will check back in for Memphis. And it feels like with both teams playing so efficiently on offense right now, Mike, whoever can make that one adjustment defensively will help sway this game and their momentum.
Yeah, I agree. And we haven't seen much full court press from either team in this second half yet.
This Memphis offense really extended with 15 on the shot clock. They try to go down low to Bradshaw. He can't corral it. And a 360 in the corner by Randy Richardson. He'll whistle it Memphis ball.
And Memphis is fortunate here. This is a bad pass. You just can't force it. And the reason why you can't force it, it's not just it's a bullet line pass, but you're telegraphing it the whole time.
Gary Clark doing a nice job of just fighting for positioning. Another dangerous pass. Thedford, tough shot, no good, into the hands of McDaniel. Can't find the angle. Thedford right there, lid on the rim right now for Memphis.
Oh, Collins is open.
Perryman up ahead, the lob, and Collins patiently, precisely puts it in.
The 7th dime for the freshman Perryman.
He had his eyes looking for a teammate, up and open the entire time down the floor. McDaniel trying to shake Templin, sent him to the floor, lost the ball, up ahead, assist number, keep it at 7. Perryman kept it himself. I thought he was going to go glass.
So did I.
I wanted him to go glass.
Going to throw it up.
It's always a nice fast break when you have time for a conversation. Utah State, the Aggies, a lot to love from them on this Valentine's Day. They lead by 14 with 12:06 left. It's Perryman dictating the offensive flow at the moment. His throwdown extends the lead. You're watching college basketball on CBS Sports Network, presented by Freshpet. 14-point lead for Utah State. 12:06 left in this matchup. How about Elijah Perryman and the dimes he's been dropping this evening?
Well, Utah State has 16 assists on 22 made field goals tonight. And Elijah Perryman is responsible for 7 of those. 2 or 3 of them have been absolute dimes tonight. And his ability to play off of 2 feet, find a teammate, and he is one of the best freshman passers in the country. And you deserve to go on a fast break and get yourself a little dunk.
I argue he should have gone glass. Off the backboard to Collins, the roof would have been blown off this building.
I agree with you. However, let the freshman get a fast break dunk. You know, don't be so tough on the kid. He's just a freshman.
No, it was a great dunk. Don't get me wrong. I would have done the same thing. But I just had that vibe with Collins right there with how unselfish Perryman's been.
You're essentially asking me, would I have thrown it off the glass? Right. Yes, but that's because I can't dunk.
I was going to say, that's their only option in transition. Tigers find themselves back in a den once again. Givens, contested triple, rolls out. Clark fighting for the rebound, sent to the floor. Falslev, it's a tussle with Bradshaw. Nobody wants to give up the orange. Two competitive athletes.
I love it. Absolutely love it. Just like you said, 2 competitors fighting for a loose ball. Nobody wants to give an inch. Give me all that you got.
It's like you and I over the dinner check, right?
The amount of times I have paid dinner is the fact that you set me up for that, because you know you're in the wrong.
You're a better man than I am, Mike O'Donnell.
Because I got 3 jobs.
One of them is keeping me under control. Here's Perryman drawing 2 defenders. Perryman, it's batted away. Hardaway wanted an over and back. Collision, no whistle. Clark able to feather it in.
Memphis was almost able to create some chaos on the defensive end.
This is where Utah State has no problem with Memphis living. This half-court offense. As soon as Memphis has to dig deep into that shot clock, we've seen their efficiency numbers go down. Givens with Templin on him. Givens stolen by Perryman. Perryman up ahead. What a find to Falslev. Falslev up ahead. Crashes into the photographer. Is able to finish the lay-in. 8 assists for Elijah Perryman. It's a 10-0 run for Utah State over the last 2 minutes and change. McDaniel eschews the ball screen, reverses it. High catch and release. King skies through the board. Aggies running again. That's poked away out of bounds by McDaniel.
Really good chase down by Doug McDaniel in the open floor. Something that's actually practiced. You kind of wait until the ball gets to your side of the chase down and you try to deflect it away.
Elijah Perryman with those 8 assists. His career high is 10. He had against San Jose State earlier this season, but with 10 minutes left in this game, the way that Utah State is scoring the ball, it's a good chance he might eclipse that. Falslev draws 2. The way that Memphis rotates, it leaves that baseline exposed. King tied up, has to flip it away. Shot clock at 5. Perryman, long. Oh, the youngsters just having a ball out here. Seven points, 8 assists. After the 30-footer. The lead is 21. Wharton over to Givens. He'll try to match the loft 3. Oh, he doesn't need the rim for that. Somewhat of a silencer, still a sizable lead for Utah State. Perryman pirouetting.
I think it's worth mentioning again, this young man has been so good, and Utah State's doing this with Drake Allen, the best passer in the Mountain West, on the bench.
Has those 4 fouls. King, defender in his face, fires the 3, no good. Givens trying to race ahead. And you see Hardaway screaming for the ball in the corner. He's going to line up his putt. Can't get it off the rim. Givens into the lane. Dish broken up. Templin tripped up. He swept the leg. Foul on Wharton.
Givens has got to kick that to Hardaway in the corner. He missed him. Let's watch this. Time winding down. When it's your night, oh man, is it your night. Elijah Perryman from Clayton Valley Charter High School in San Francisco. He was recruited really hard by San Francisco and Santa Clara, who, by the way, Santa Clara is having a great season in the West Coast Conference.
We've got a nice matchup against Gonzaga tonight, and Gonzaga will be a conference opponent of Utah State next year in the Pac-12. As Templin heads to the free throw line, and that changed the Pac-12. It's interesting when you talk to the different coaches across the conference, they're excited for what will form next year. You've got Utah State, San Diego State, Boise State, Colorado State, Oregon State, Washington State. Gonzaga, essentially the only school without a state at the end in that new Pac-12. That becomes one of the top-tier basketball conferences when you look at historical appearances in the NCAA tournament.
When Gonzaga comes to visit the Spectrum, that place is going to be, this place, excuse me, is going to be off the charts.
Carson Templin checks out, ties his career high with 18 points. 7 for 11 from the field. McDaniel swooping lay-in, can't get it, knocked out of bounds. Memphis ball.
Leave the ball alone. Leave it alone.
It's a 15-3 run that continues. The Tigers 1 for their last 8 from the field. Silla, baseline. Bedford, tough shot over the defender, can't get it. Wharton, offensive rebound, falls to his legs, able to keep the dribble alive. Fishes it to Parker. Parker, full head of steam, attacking Falstaff. Tough shot, nets it.
If there was ever a time for Sincere Parker to get hot and show off that microwave ability, it is right now.
Question is there enough time to cook for Memphis? Under 8 minutes left to play, they trail by 18. Utah State looking for their 7th straight win. It would be their 3rd 7-game winning streak of the season. Perryman calling for the screen. He wants Clark to set it right on McDaniel. Perryman greedy for 3, can't get it. Long rebound. Parker's going to save that. Wharton knocked askew by Keller. That'll be a foul and free throws coming up. Sincere Parker, Memphis sincerely needs him to start heating up. They trail by 18 on the road. You're watching college basketball on CBS Sports Network, presented by Fresh Bets.
College basketball on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Old Trapper Beef Jerky. What's your beef?
Welcome back to Logan, Utah. Sizable lead for the Aggies, 78-60 here on Valentine's Day. And Mike, I know I'm not your first choice as far as company on Valentine's Day, and we have to be honest, we're on the road quite a bit, and we just want to say happy Valentine's Day to our beautiful wives. We both know we clearly outkicked our coverage. It's the greatest heist anybody's pulled off in time, but to my beautiful wife, Tiffany, happy Valentine's Day, and I know you really appreciate yours at home.
And Annie O'Donnell, I love you so much. You are an absolute saint, and happy Valentine's Day.
You are such a great man, as we hope that they are just enjoying this broadcast and haven't gone to bed already because they're tired taking care of our children all the time while we're on the road.
Oh, I guarantee you Annie is asleep right now on the East Coast. Guarantee.
Well, Wharton will head to the line. It has been a bit of a heartbreaker on the road here today for Memphis. Coming in, it was going to be tough sledding already with how well Utah State's been playing at home. This game was pretty close in the first 16-17 minutes, but the Aggies used a 17-4 run to close out the first half. Misses both free throws. Clark with the rebound.
Look how under control Perryman is. I mean, that's one of the best defenders, not just in the American, but in the nation. Doug McDaniel is lightning quick. He has a high IQ of anticipating steals, and Perryman has done an excellent job of keeping him at bay all game long.
Perryman hits the first free throw. And it's really interesting when you look at next year for Utah State. And I say that because every coach across the country has to start planning their rosters. There's so much turnover year after year, but a core of Perryman is just a freshman, Falslev's a junior, Templin's a junior, and Adlon Elamine, who's a freshman. That has the potential to be really, really special next year.
No question. You've got a passer like Perryman and a scorer like Falslev. Sky's the limit for Utah State.
Parker fading away, no good. Perryman lets it trickle out of bounds. Utah State ball.
And I know Parker is trying to hunt for his shot, but fade away from 15 feet. Don't think that's the one.
What is a good ISO shot then? If you're looking to attack in isolation and you know that you need to get back into this game.
The one that you continually practice. You take the shots that you practice. Sounds obvious, but even, especially when you're trying to come back, it's even more important not to try to force shots, because bad shots on the offensive end are fast break catalysts for Utah State. Those almost act as like turnovers.
And a travel down low for Keller.
And so that was really good activity by Memphis, especially in that pick and roll action, being able to wall up, be active with your hands.
Givens loses it out of bounds. Aggie ball. And Utah State has just a deep makeup as you look at some of their games coming up here in the Mountain West Conference, and that Mountain West Conference tournament that'll be very competitive with how well New Mexico's playing this year, San Diego State as well. Grand Canyon can surprise anybody, and UNLV, no pun intended, quite the wild card in Vegas.
That's so good. From
Keller, long three, no good, but Perryman with the nice find. McDaniel scoops it up ahead. Parker crashing onto the floor, a hard fall onto the court, and free throws coming up for him as we revisit our keys to the game, brought to you by Fresh Pets.
Well, 11 turnovers, a little bit too much. It hasn't been terrible, but it's a little bit too many turnovers. And you got out-rebounding Utah State to win the rebounding battle, but Utah State handling the Memphis press, 19 assists, and they have been really good at attacking the paint, 32 points in the paint.
But those 11 turnovers for Memphis have led to 19 points for Utah State. Nearly a quarter of their points coming off those turnovers.
That's the way that Utah State plays. You talk about the passing and the shooting and the continuity on the offensive side of the floor. So much of their season and their offense is ignited through their defense.
Let me ask you something. You were dialed in, free throw shooter. Would that ever distract you? All the accessories from the student section?
No, I mean, maybe in high school, but not in college. I mean, once you get to a point of where you stop trying to make free throws, you're not affected by the background noise.
Templin for a new career high, can't get it, fall slip. That's what he does, folks. Offensive rebound putback. Fall slip with 17 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists. Just a solid day's work for him. McDaniel trying to put false lip on skates. He's able to stick with them. Shot clock winding down. Givens, pump fake. No good. Parker fights for the rebound. And a foul as he goes back up. So we're under 30 days away from Selection Sunday, and things are just picking up. How about Arizona losing another game? The previously unbeaten Wildcats now have back-to-back losses after a 23-0 start. Iowa State blowing past the Jayhawks. And then how about Florida? Here they come. The waters are starting to become dangerous in Florida.
And besides Utah State, you know, there's 2 other teams in the Mountain West that are trying to get to the NCAA tournament from an at-large perspective. Both New Mexico and San Diego State. CBS Sports Bracketology has them as 2 of the 4 teams in the first 4 out.
Parker hits the second free throw. Drake Allen checks in for Elijah Perryman. Perryman was on the verge of a double-double, 9 points, 8 assists. Still a comfortable 18-point lead for Utah State. Just over 5 minutes left. What a treat this matchup has been, though. Non-conference ball in mid-February. First ever matchup between these 2 mid-major programs. Both coaches were really excited about this game. Templin, the fake. Allen, corner 3. Can't get it in and out. And then out of bounds as Clark stepped on the end line while securing the ball. That'll be Memphis possession. One thing I liked about Utah State in this game, we were wondering how they would handle a team with a different type of athleticism and length than what they're accustomed to seeing in the Mountain West. And you saw just how their execution consistently has been able to help them build this lead. Givens fouled on the jumper attempt. If it's against Allen, that's his 5th. It is. So Drake Allen, frustrating evening for him as he picks up 5 fouls in just 13 minutes of action this evening.
and Drake Allen will head to the bench, but the reality is for Utah State, it hasn't ultimately affected them too much as Perryman's been so good.
Here's the resume for Utah State. As it sits, this would be their highest seed they've ever had, a 7 seed. Maybe the only knock against them, Mike, they haven't beaten a team that's in the NCAA tournament field as of today.
Yeah, and that's certainly going to weigh on the committee's minds, but I mean, right now, those things can certainly change depending on how New Mexico and San Diego State do, and you get a win versus those two teams. But when you look at their resume, I mean, it's obvious, if the season ended today, I mean, they would absolutely be an NCAA tournament at-large team. That win against VCU on a neutral site, that's going to end up coming back to really help Utah State, I think. And
that's a really good VCU team. We called one of their games in Richmond, and they've got a tough test in the A-10 with how well St. Louis has been playing. The Billikens we also saw in person. That's a team nobody wants to face in the NCAA tournament.
Well, everybody's talking about Miami of Ohio, rightfully so, in that undefeated season. But if it wasn't for one fluke play at the very end of the Stanford game, St. Louis would be undefeated as well.
Ball sled to the cup. It's short. Clark, offensive rebound, hacked as he goes back up. For those of you tuning in for the Nevada-San Diego State game, you'll be able to find it streaming free on the CBS Sports app or at cbssports.com/CBSSN as soon as it tips off. And of course, we'll get you out there immediately after the conclusion of this game. Nevada, another one of those teams in the Mountain West Conference you've got to be careful of to catch them on the wrong night. Gary Clark, well-traveled transfer player from Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Capable of some double-doubles, had 3 to start the season. Hasn't been able to get back to that efficiency, but still another solid player coming off the pine for Jared Calhoun. 4 minutes left. Utah State still in control. McDaniel skips on the baseline. Givens, pump fake. What a closeout from Clark. Floater, no good. Morton fouled as he goes back up. Timeout on the floor. 17-point lead for Utah State as they are on their way to win number 22. 17-point lead for Utah State. 3:51 left in this ball game. Well, CBS Sports Network's coverage of college hoops continues next with a key Mountain West matchup. Don't miss San Diego State as they host Nevada. Time now for our Old Trapper beef jerky of the player of the game. It was a tough decision, but we go with Elijah Perryman.
I think you have to go with Elijah Perryman. And even though Carson Templin's had a great game, the freshman stepped up in a huge way because Drake Allen only could play 13 minutes in this game due to foul trouble. He fouled out, but the freshman had 9 points, 8 assists, and only 1 turnover. Look at the senior, though, talking to the freshman right now. The game's in hand, and he's still teaching and coaching the freshman. I love that.
I think Drake Allen will make a good dad.
Oh, no question.
He's expecting the birth of his first son in about the next 20 days. And Templin, as we pointed out, tied a career high with 18 points. He was perfect from the free throw line, and both of them were key for that 17-4 run to close out the first half that really created the separation in this game. Perryman was getting out in transition. Templin was hitting some big shots during that run.
And also, MJ Collins had 18 points. Mason Falslev had 17 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists. A very typical Mason Falslev line. Your favorite player's favorite player.
We tried to find an NBA comp for Falslev. There were really only 2 players that came to mind.
Yeah, Alex Caruso and Josh Hart. It's kind of shades of those 2 guys for Falslev. There's certainly, because of Falslev's activity on the defensive end, a lot of Alex Caruso in his game.
Jared Calhoun was just yelling at his team to calm things down as they got across half court. 5 to shoot. And an off-ball foul as Templin was trying to put a little English on a pass, and that foul is going to be against Majak. The Nevada-San Diego State game is underway and now available, streaming free on the CBS Sports app or at cbssports.com/CBSSN. We'll get you out there as soon as this one is over.
Corey Camper Jr. for Nevada versus Miles Bird of San Diego State. Another good one in the Mountain West.
You know, VAS Arena will be rocking this evening as Clark, just a 52% free throw shooter, rolls that one in. Can't get the second. Really, the points off the turnovers, that's the number that really seems to jump out at you, along with a 3-point shooting differential. 19 points off of turnovers for Utah State. The 11 Memphis turnovers, and Majok will head to the free throw line. A foul on Gary Clark. Well, let's take a closer look at the tournament-worthy teams in the Mountain West Conference. Right now, Utah State's the only team that seems to be a lock for an at-large. New Mexico, San Diego State right on the doorstep. San Diego State the first of the first 4 out.
You know, one of the big things for San Diego State in their resume is you need to get that second and hopefully third quad 1 win on your resume. That's what's really hurting their resume the most.
They also had a really bad loss to, I believe, Troy, which was just an anomaly.
Very early in the
San
season,
Diego
third
State.
game of the season in double overtime at home.
30-second timeout as we take a look at the upcoming schedule for the Aggies, who appear to be on their way to a 22-3 mark. Still 3 minutes left in this game, though. But there are quad 1 opportunities coming up, and you highlight Nevada and San Diego State. Those are some key games for the Aggies. You feel they could maybe creep up to as high as a 5 or a 6 seed if they went out the rest of the season and win the conference tournament.
We also look at that New Mexico game, and that's at home, and there's a chance that it depends. A lot of things have to happen, but that could also become a quad 1 game, because New Mexico, how about the job that Eric Owen's done?
Yes.
In New Mexico, I mean, he's got them 19-6 right now in the hunt.
One thing we haven't discussed too much on air is what constitutes a quad 1 game at home versus on the road. You may look at a team's ranking and understand, why is this a quad 1 game when we play them on the road, but then when they come into our house, it's a quad 2 game, and it even matters on a neutral side as well too, Mike O'Donnell.
Well, it's not just a ranking, it's more of a sorting system for the committee, and a quad 1 win counts as beating any team ranked number 1 through number 30 in the quad rankings. Or if you get a neutral site win from anybody ranked 1 through 50, if you win on the road, anybody ranked 1 through 75. So that's what constitutes a quad 1 win.
To me, it's shocking the difference between home 1 through 30 and road 1 through 75, as that foul is on Parker, his 4th. We mentioned the issues for Memphis in the fouling. They gave up 41 free throw attempts in their loss at North Texas a couple nights ago. This is free throw number 33 for Utah State, as Perryman hits the first. 4 Aggies in double figures, as we see Coach Hardaway with Jordan Giorgio sitting next to him.
It's a major issue for Memphis, and it's something that they're going to have to correct as they continue to try to build throughout the course of the rest of the American Conference season.
It's hard to damper the aggressiveness on defense when you're trying to go for steals as frequently as you do, to then turn it off at the point of contact. Perryman at 10 points now, becomes the latest Aggie in double figures. Collins nearly slips. Templin up top, no good on the 3. 2.5 minutes remaining in this one. Utah State could have had a rest day today. Instead, they scheduled first ever matchup against Memphis. King up ahead, back to Falsleft. Falsleft slips and falls, and he's okay, but his knee bent awkwardly.
Yeah.
And it might be interesting to see if Coach Calhoun might start going to the bench. Here's one more look.
And that is a dangerous bend. And luckily, he actually is able to kick out his right leg just in time. Man.
It's the one thing you're always terrified of at this point. A game that appears to be out of hand. And one of your star players picking up an injury. Parker up top, waiting for the screen. A rope checking in, number 4 for the first time. This putback is good for Majok. Lead is 13 with under 2 minutes left. Not quite comfortable enough to pull your starters. What do you think? Maybe 1 or 2 more possessions?
I would say maybe right after this possession, yeah. Good go screen there by Collins.
Collins, the drive. Falslev, corner 3, puts this one away, rolls it in, and a foul afterwards as Templin is thrown to the ground. It'll be the 4th foul on Majok.
You know, what I love about that play is that Collins stayed under control, playing off of 2 feet, but Falslev kept drifting low and to give Collins a better passing angle for that 3.
So Carson Templin will roll back the strands of hair in his face and try to go for a career high here. He's tied it with 18 points. It's good. His career high now up to 19. And really epitomizes the culture of this Utah State team. We were talking about how great this group of guys are, as Templin is now up to 20 points for a new career high. And here's a player that comes off the bench and comes in and plays as hard as he does and does everything Coach Calhoun asks of him, never complains, and stayed here through multiple coaching changes.
And how about Templin, though, hadn't missed a free throw tonight. 10 for 10 from the free throw line. He's just a 56% free throw shooter. His kind of night.
Just over a minute left. Collins goes reverse off the glass. Takes it right into the heart of traffic. It's his 12th 20-point game of the season.
Everybody's been so good for Utah State. What a quiet 20 points for MJ Collins. Just an embarrassment of riches in terms of skill. But Collins is limping a little bit. He's grabbing his left leg.
At this point, do you just call a timeout and get your starters out of the game? You got 2 timeouts for Utah State.
Not sure if Coach Calhoun is aware of it.
He looks very uncomfortable in the corner right now. Hasn't said anything to the bench. Here's Perryman, Templin, Collins in the dunker spot. I guess he's fine.
Yeah, he's okay.
Put back dunk. 22 points for Collins. Poked away. It's King up ahead. Calhoun's telling him to go. He throws down the dunk. Do you like that? You had a chance to dribble out the clock to end the game, Mike O'Donnell. Falslev sliding through again. Takes an awkward fall. It's an 18-point game. The starters are still in the game for Utah State.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised by this. Coach Calhoun said, go, go, go.
It'll make for a great photo, and you never know. You're boosting some of the efficiency numbers. You're winning by 22 at home over a non-conference opponent. A rope. Too strong on that one. Or Utah State's just trying to get to 100 points.
No, you're absolutely correct, Jordan. It's an opportunity. You got a winning by a certain amount from an analytics standpoint matters. Remember, non-conference game in February.
It's no good. Templin the rebound. Up ahead. What will Collins do here? Collins with a windmill dunk. Might make for an interesting handshake afterwards. That'll do it in Logan, Utah. The Aggies run away. For Mike O'Donnell, Jordan Giorgio, and our entire crew, I'm Jordan Kent. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Now we send it to a Mountain West Conference matchup between Nevada and San Diego State. Happy Valentine's Day as we say so long from Logan.